you some terms related to cyber security. So these are the major 5 factors in cyber security. First is malicious software. What I will do is I am going to cover these 5 factors with different aspects. Number one is what it is. Most of you know all these terms that what it is, but still I'll give a little glimpse of it. Then what are the problems and what are the complications? What are the challenges that we face because of this issue? And third, most important, that is what is the solution for each of these. So I will take some practical examples, what is all happening around the world, no theories. Okay, so what is actual fact, what are the tools available, what are the problems, and what are the solutions. This is what we are going to discuss. Fine. So let us start with the first factor, that is what is meaning of a malicious software. So all of us know the meaning of a virus. Usually in computers, people term this as a full form also, that is vital information resource under siege. So my important data is there which is being taken away by someone. So that is virus. Now how does a virus arrive? This is one small example where you see thumbs.db file. You know what is use of thumbs.db file? It is a small database file which is going to capture the images, small images, into low resolution format. You know, you might have experienced when you see a gallery, whether it is your mobile or whether it is any device. When you see the gallery, you will find small pictures into a gallery. When you click on it, it will open the original picture. So there are actually two parts, the original one and a small copy of low resolution. So thumbsdb is considered as a system file. You know what operating system does is, when it is a system file like .sys, .bat, it will allow the files to enter. So if I enter a virus with the file name which is acceptable by operating system, what will happen? It will propagate into the system. So I can copy the virus into another system by using this type of technique. It's a very simple one. Then another example is a Trojan horse. Most of you might be aware what is a Trojan horse. So that is a story of Greece where a wooden horse was used to attract the villagers nearby. Now when the wooden horse was outside the village, the people were getting attracted and they wanted this horse inside their village. Now once the door was open for them, what they did is, inside this Trojan horse there were hundreds of people sitting with the arms. They came outside and they just fired and they just conquered that village. So based on this story, this term has come, that is Trojan horse. Usually all of you must have experienced this type of stickers, right? So it's congratulations and you have won something. So when you click on it, all of you know that what is happening. So it's better to avoid such malicious software to protect ourselves. Another method which malicious software it uses is called botnet. Now this is just overall structure of what botnet is. So in botnet, there are people who are termed as bothenders. The task of a bothender is to identify the vulnerabilities. See, there is a weakness in every person, in every system. There is some weakness, right? So if you identify that, okay, this particular computer, if I connect, it has 5 ports which are open for all. One machine, there is a shared drive which anyone can share to everyone is used, right? So such things it will identify what are the different vulnerabilities, and then it will start exploring it, right? And it may damage your machines. So this is what is task done by botnets. Now you see the heading, that is handling. Now the question is, we have a problem, what is the solution? So the solution is malicious software handling. That is, you use antivirus toolkit. Simple, right? There are a lot of famous antivirus available. We will put the antivirus and we do not allow outside things to pass into our machine. This is one simple example. I don't know, when you have a corporate uh, culture, usually most of the websites are being blocked. Okay, so you will not be able to see a particular website and you get this message, that is FortiGuard web filtering. There are many such web filters available which will not allow the sites which are harming our machines. So this is the solution. I hope all of you are getting me. First point is, what is the problem, that is malicious software, how it works, and what is the solution. So this is the solution. Fine. We have another solution also, that is we can use keyloggers. So what is a keylogger? Keylogger is available in two different forms. Either it can be hardware or it can be software. So when you speak about a hardware, it is a very small device, just a small USB device, which is fitted before your keyboard. So what happens when you type in your keyboard? All the keystroke, each and every keystroke is being recorded into this device. So now you can remove this device, take it at home, and then you can check that this user, what he has typed, starting from morning till evening, what he has typed. Each and every character typing information is available. So such are the use of keyloggers. Now this is surveillance. You know, there are two different factors. When a technology is given, we have a chance either to use it or to misuse. So this is used by both people, you know, surveillance. So if I want to check who is entering into my network, what they are doing, which websites they are opening, I will use the keylogger for the surveillance purpose, right? But it is reverse also. What the thieves will do, they will put this surveillance keylogger into someone's machine, they will collect all the data and take away the things. So it is a dual purpose. Okay, now I'll give you, you know that in our webinar we have mentioned two things, three things rather. One is about awareness. So most important part for me for this session is about awareness. I want to aware the young people of this generation that what are the problems, and you must know what are the solutions, because you know cyber security, cyber is such a big place where lot of wrong activities are being done, and we need to save ourselves and our family members. Okay, so our goal is awareness. We want to aware the people that such things are happening and there are solutions available. Do not worry. Okay, so this is not for hacking purpose. This is meant for finding the solutions if such problems happen. So this is one thing. Second, we have mentioned is about live demo. So we are going to have, third is e-participation certificate that you all will be getting. Okay, so probably that's why many people have joined also. So live demo for this, I am going to show you what is the use of this real PC spy. I have installed here a real PC spy into my machine. So I will just show. So this is a PC spy which is taking the data from what I am doing. Okay, it is working in background and it is collecting the screen information. Are you able to see the screens? I hope all of you are able to see the screen. Yeah. So whatever I opened, you can see here the date is coming and it is capturing a picture. What I have done, it is capturing the picture. I have opened one file here. This is my history. I have gone into the folder. Everything it is recording and it is showing to me. Okay. Now, moving to the next concept. What is the solution? Solution to handle malicious software. One is you have antivirus. Lot many antivirus are available. But now I want a good operating system which is most secure. Now you see this is the data of different operating systems and their vulnerabilities. If I put a virus, there is a study carried out. If I put a virus into operating system, then it is going to detect or not. You see over here, Windows is considered to be very more vulnerable to the viruses. So that's why we should not prefer Windows. You know, the problem with Windows is we cannot blame them because it is very famous operating system. The kernel commands, most of the people are aware. So they are able to put the viruses and hack into it. Okay. So what is the solution? You can see from this diagram, you can do it by yourself. That here, Ubuntu or Linux is having minimum percentage of vulnerability. Okay, then one fine day we can decide that, okay, let us use Ubuntu. Everybody in the world start using Ubuntu. Practically, it may not be possible. Okay, even if you start using Ubuntu, there is one more challenge. What is that challenge? That is, you have to install antivirus, that is Sophos, which is used for Ubuntu. And this is just one screen to make you aware that even though Ubuntu is considered almost 100%, almost, still there are viruses even in Ubuntu also. So this is the biggest challenge we have, right? Antiviruses are available, but still there are chances of viruses. Okay, so there is no 100% foolproof solution. So better to go for intermediate operating system, which is little more secured compared to Windows. Fine. So this is about a different malicious software. That is a software or a program which is going to damage your system. Now coming to ID theft. What is ID theft? Very simple. My identity is taken by someone. Someone has taken my photo, ID card and showing it to the police, right? You know, right now, a curfew situation. Suppose someone has got my ID card and show to the police that I am in this particular department and I want to go, right? So that is identity theft. People are using your identity to get some out of it. So one very good example is everyone knows Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. He is having almost 40 billion followers in Twitter account. And one fine day, there was a message from his Twitter account that with some obscene comment, which is not expected from Amitabh Bachchan, right? So some wrong words were being written on his Twitter account. This is because someone has his account. So this is one example. Not only that, we have another challenge. All of us know who this person is. World famous person. Because of him, we are able to manage our curfew days nowadays, COVID-19, because we keep on using Facebook and WhatsApp. But Mark Zuckerberg is also not safe. Even his LinkedIn account was being hacked one day. So maybe you are aware that there was a news for Mark Zuckerberg that on his laptop he has put a sticker. Okay, he put a sticker on his laptop because he do not want anyone to access from outside. Right? It's not physical, but through software also people can make it on. So he did not want that. So identity theft is also there. This one very simple hack that those who have learned HTML, they might be familiar with this. It's very simple. Someone is using keep me logged in and there is a password already typed inside it, right? So usually what we do, if you get a chance, you just right click and inspect. There is inspect button. So if you inspect, you will see that value equal to, you can see here on the screen, right? So type equal to password, value equal to something is written. So what is that? It means now you have got my password, right? So don't worry, this is just an example. It's not my real password. Now, another method for ID theft, that is, one is brute force method. What is brute forcing? It is a simple mathematical technique where you use combinations. You know, I know that a password will contain A, B, C up to Z. So I will use A, B, B, A, A, B, C, C, B, A, and so on. When I continue like this, I'll write a program. You can write, you know, you might be familiar with C programming, right? Some logic you can write and maybe few lines of code, and it will generate all the possible combinations. So I've just shown you here that if you use 7 characters, what is the difference? You use only small characters, which are 7 characters. It is easy for a program to detect. When you run the program, it will take 9.5 minutes to find out your password. The same thing if you use capital letter and you use exclamation mark. Okay, it becomes complex. You know why? The reason is very simple. You have 2 raised to 26 permutation combination basics, right? So you have these many combinations, it will come around 650 lakh combinations, which computers can easily execute, and within 10 minutes you can get the solution. But when you use small and capital and special character, it will be 2 raised to 2 raised to 6. So the time taken will be much bigger, 1 month. I don't think anyone will wait for 1 month to get your password. Okay. So that's why people prefer that at least 8 or 9 or 10 characters you must use, right? If you see a very easy example here is, if I am using 9-character password, of course, it should contain capital, small, and special character and numbers also. If I use like this, it will take 1 million or 6 decades to find out the password. So you can imagine how safe it is. So see, I have shown you that with identity theft, right, your password could be hacked. How to save yourself, that is more important. Now, I will show one another live demo that is about your email, checking your email. When you use your email, usually what happens, you have registered on the software on a mail server. Now, someone from outside also can access your email. It happens, right? If you want to check, this is a special website. Have I been PWNED? Actually, it is owned. Have I been owned? But I am not the owner. Someone came and changed it and make, instead of O, they make it P. So it's called haveibeenpwned.com. It means if I want to check my email is not being hacked or being accessed by someone else from outside, then this is one simple method. You can see here in my case also, my email is already being breached 10 times. Now, if you guys wish, we can have 1 or 2 email IDs from your side. You can just pass on a message and I will check over here whether it is being used by external person or not. Okay, so let us go for that. Now, when I put here my Gmail ID, right now I will put my Gmail address and I will check. Let's see the result. So now I am getting good news that nothing is found. So I am happy that you can imagine, compared to Yahoo, Gmail is much safer one. Now, as I said, we can just check for 1 or 2 people if you want to. Yes, there is Jadhav Harish. We will check your Gmail ID also. Let us see what result you are getting. So again, good news. You know that Gmail, as I said, more than 99% chances are there that Gmail is pretty safe one. So not to worry. Okay. So one thing you have learned today, that is, rather than using other mail servers, better to use Gmail. Fine. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide. Another example for ID theft, most important one, that is your card details, debit card or credit card details. People are calling you and they will ask, please give me last 3 digits or give me your card number. Please don't do so, right? You guys, most of you guys are familiar with IT, so you won't be doing, right? But yes, it is your responsibility to tell to your friends and other family members also that do not do this. So this is just one cartoon put over here. I hope if you people can understand this one, I could see some smiles into the web cameras. So you wish me to convert into a local language? I believe most of you are Gujarati, right? Okay. So it's like, mostly Sardar Baji will be part of fun. So if Sardar says that nahi mera password to 4562 hai, star nahi hai, right? So that is what it says. Anyway, coming to the technical aspect, what happens is one fact, that the pins which are being sent by us, the pin of a debit card is actually saved into the server of a, okay, I am getting many email IDs, but you can check it by yourself also. Yeah, so this is how it works. You know the website, that is Have I Been PWNED. You can check it by yourself. Let us concentrate on other parts now. So when a pin is being generated, you see the card. In card, there is a detail which mentions that a symbol of MasterCard or Visa. So Visa and MasterCard are the companies who are responsible for storing and for the security of your PIN. And it is not the bank. Remember this thing. Okay, if you go to a bank and you say that this much money is being stolen, they are not responsible for it. They have an agency, right? So how this agency works, when you go into a withdrawal, right, ATM machine, when you put a card or ATM machine, maybe for a withdrawal purpose, then the pin block, it is being taken into one switch, right? That switch is being managed by a company, financial security company, who is going to manage. They will generate another pin into their server, and then finally it gets decoded and they will verify it. The process is so fast, you will not understand, right? So this is little basic about, technical basic about how the cards work. Now moving on to ATM skimming. This is happening nowadays. People keep on watching in news also that there is a skimming. There is a plastic material on the top of a keypad, and when you press, what happens is your keystrokes will be, impression will be there. Based on the impression, the person can get the idea which key was pressed first, which key was pressed next. Okay, the one which is pressed at the last, that will have, it is photosensitive, right? Maximum photosensitivity. So they are using this type of technology. Hackers are using these things. What is our duty? Our duty is to keep checking such things. Okay, there is no cover or special material on the top of your keypad, right? There is no camera or light on the top. These all things we have to take care. Now, to avoid the ATM skimming, one method which is being used, it is Diebold block. Diebold is a security company which is not being displayed to all. They don't have any website as such, right? Because it is a security company. Most of the people, they do not know also. All the machines, ATM machines, they are being manufactured and the logic is being done by Diebold. So what they have done, there is a challenge that people are using ATM machines and using some fraud techniques. What Diebold have done, they have made a big change of 90 degree. What is that? So instead of horizontal, you put the card horizontally, right? Instead of that, they will put the card vertically. So only 90-degree change. All the people who are using this hacking technique, they have to adopt for new technology, right? So this is one basic common sense that they have applied. So we have to find out solutions. One day, vertical also hacking will start. We have to find some other solution, right? So this keeps on moving. Yes, most important, most interesting part for you guys. uh, Example of ID theft. Someone was looking for a nail polish bottle. The cost is only 388 rupees. So he put the order, then he got some OTP, and then some call was there. He given the message. After the things were finished, he could see 92,000 rupees were gone from his account. This happens to many people, right? You see the message which is below, that is BWI Paytm. Dear Paytm customer, your account will be deleted. Immediately call on this number. In fact, before 3-4 days, I have also received this message, right? Maybe some of you might also have received. So if you call this person, what they will tell, some story, they will say, please send me the OTP. Once you receive, immediately they will confuse you. And once they get the OTP, they will take the amount from your account. Okay, so you have to take care. This thing right now, in Bhavnagar also, there is Bhavnagar Cyber Crime who is managing Facebook account. So on their Facebook account, Gujarat Police, Bhavnagar division, they have already put up this one on their screen. On Facebook also, you can see this. Okay. Yeah, so almost two things we have covered. We are almost halfway. I hope all of you are enjoying this session. Let us move to the third one, that is hacking. So what we mean by hacking? One example, again similar financial fraud. Petroleum companies, they have some login and ID and they are transferring large amount. So one person from Ahmedabad recently, this is 20th February news. Okay, he has transferred the amount 5.48 lakh into his account. So such hackings are going on. You know, even hacking has got different categories. Your website is there. A website, if you can hack only the front page, home page of a website, that is called defamation, website defamation. So you are defaming that website. Instead of good things, you are putting your photo or something else, right? So many categories of hacking are there. Now, to avoid hack, you know what is the solution? As I said, the world best software, which is for antivirus, that is Kaspersky. Okay, if you have Kaspersky installed, it means you are safe. But you see the challenge over here now. You will be surprised to know that Kaspersky, their own laboratory, network laboratory, is being hacked by some hacker, right? So this is the biggest challenge we are having. No one is safe, not even Kaspersky. Because of that, this is maybe around 1 or 2 years ago, not right now, but because of that, they had problem of a lot of loss, especially in Western and Middle Eastern countries. Okay, moving on to solution. Hacking should not happen. What is the solution? Someone should not come into my account, do something and go away. So one is NS auditor. Right now, see, you guys are watching over here. Okay, I'm using my college network to connect. Now, when this network is there, we already have NS auditor in our office, network office. Okay. So NS auditor is tracing that how many people from different countries, from different region are being connected to my machine. Okay. You see just one example, 127.0.0, all of you know that is home, my own PC, right? 0.0 means they are not connected. But there is some login from some maybe Afghanistan. Okay. So this you are able to trace that this particular time, these two people are using this network, why they have used. So you can trace this. So this is the solution. If you want to avoid hacking, one is, this is again, see, hacking can be network related. So you can avoid by auditing software. Another is you can avoid by a firewall, right? So many methods are there. Firewall is used to stop people from coming outside, right? Or pinging your data or checking your sharing settings. Now the solution to stop your website, see, we are all learners. Maybe everyone has a dream. I should have my own website, a good looking website, maybe 2-3 pages. I want to host a good website. So when you are using your own website, is it safe? Maybe someone will hack within half an hour, right? So what are the safety measures we have to do? There is one tool which is VeriSign Trusted. Okay, so if you are putting into VeriSign Trusted, you are guaranteed that your website will not be hacked. Now, how do you know this? You know, one basic thing I want to tell every young generation over here, whenever you open any site, especially related to banking account, there is HTTPS. S stands for a secured server. Whenever financial accounts are there, 100% they are secured server only. So HTTPS. Anytime if you find that the server name is HTTP, it means it is not safe. Do not do the transaction with it, right? So now VeriSign Trusted, this symbol you might have seen whenever you are doing the transactions. Now another challenge, you know, people can put this, suppose I am creating a website, I will put this sticker, VeriSign Trusted sticker, into my website. So everyone will believe, okay, very good, this is VeriSign Trusted, so I can do. It's not like that, right? Only putting a sticker does not matter. So there is, you have to remember, there is a link. When you click on the link, you will get the owner details, verification certificate details, and so on. Okay, so this is one method which is used to trust your website. Not only one, there is GeoTrust, Komodo, and so on. Fine. Moving to software theft, that is piracy. So biggest challenge in the world, especially in India also, that is software piracy. So I want to use, right now what I'm doing, I'm using WPS. Okay, that is a Word and PowerPoint editor, which is free of cost. I'm not using MS Office because I don't want to pay, right? So software theft means if you are stealing the software and using it, cracking it, right? Most of the people are doing. Let us see what is the statistics worldwide. Just a second. Many illegal sites have HTTP instead of HTTPS. Yeah. So uh, it may also happen that some people, you have done the chat, are using HTTP as secured server, right? So see, this is something about observation, where your website is being redirected. Then what are the credentials? You go in Google, you can search this website authenticity or is it fake. Go in Google and search. You will find lot of reports. So before exploring such things, it is always advisable to check the things. Very good. Now moving to software theft, let us see the statistics. So the software theft is about 60% here in India. એટલે અડધાથી વધારે લોકો બીજાનું સોફ્ટવેર યુઝ કરે છે, to make it simple, right? So almost more than 50%. It's a big challenge for us. You see, New Zealand is how much? Only 20%, right? We have extreme cases I have highlighted over here. UAE, Dubai, they are having only 36%, right? Because they have very strict rules. Nigeria is 81%, and highest you can see 85, that is Pakistan, right? Now, solution to this, your software, if I'm developing a software, you know, one day most of us will be handling software division. So we want to know that how to secure my software. One of the easiest method is using EULA, that is End User License Agreement. You know, it's very simple. If anyone is given a task that you have to open this website, okay, or you have to set up, there is setup.exe for a software. When you set up, what happens is, if I ask someone, can you do the setup for me, installation for me, he will say yes. Because what are the steps for setup? It's very simple. Click next, 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 and over. If there is a button I agree, click on I agree, right? But remember this thing, when you click on I agree, there are certain options, right? There are certain end user license agreements. A text is written which mentions that you cannot share this software with your friends. You cannot sell this software. If you do it, you are liable to go to jail. Okay. So that's why these things are there. You have to take care of it. But regular audit people are there. They will ask you, if you say that my software is legal, they will ask for a invoice copy. Do you have a bill of it? You have to show the bill that yes, I have purchased on this date Microsoft Office CD. You must keep the bill also with you officially, right? So proof of purchase should be with you. Now on developer side, just think of you are developing a software and people, it's very good software and people keep on copying. No one is paying for you, right? Just imagine you have developed very nice software. Maybe the cost is only 5,000. One person has purchased it in 5,000 and he has given to all his friends and family members, right? So you are not gaining anything out of it. Then what is the solution? So solution is you have online key activation. Okay. So I get connected to my website. Then it will ask, please enter the activation code. I will generate activation code and send to the user. If the same code is already being used, you cannot allow that. Okay. Just like what you are doing in OTP. There is one more thing, that is Centennial Shell. Also you can use the logic if you are familiar with application programming interface. Okay. So solution to software threat and what are the problems in software threat, both we have seen. Moving on to the last one, that is cyber stalking. What is cyber stalking? We also use another term for this, that is, it is called as cyber bullying. Bullying means you put some obscene comment for someone and you broadcast it. Let's take an example here. This is the statistics of cyber bullying. When you put a comment, wrong comment, people will get hurted, right? So you should not use. Here you can see the statistics that in India it is very high rate. If it was asked to the people of almost your age that have you ever been having the problem of being cyber bullied, that is, you have your account, someone is putting some comment, bad comment about you, and you have to reply it, right? And you feel bad about it. So that is cyber bullying. Remember, there is a special law, cyber law for it, where you are protected. So no need to worry. Okay. We'll take one example of one lady. I have changed the name over here because we cannot disclose the name. She was working in the embassy in New Delhi, and someone has taken her photographs and was telling that these photographs I'm going to put it on the obscene website. If you don't want this, then you have to pay me 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so such things are happening. This is an example of cyber stalking. There is Megan Mayer Foundation, one example of a teenage girl of US. You know the culture of US, right? So in US, a girl probably was studying in school, and she put her photo on Facebook. It was very simple, and one of her classmates put a comment that you are looking very fat. Because of that comment, the girl felt so bad that all my classmates will tell me fat, and she had committed suicide. So these are the social issues which need to be addressed. You know, it is very serious. So her mother Tina, she has started with one foundation. She is also joining into this type of cybersecurity awareness programs. Okay, and she keep on telling people that don't worry, you should be alert enough, vigilant enough, right? All those things. So this is about cyber stalking. Now I am giving you some special information, that is when you want to avoid such things, right? See, ultimately it is up to me only. If I am going to some place, you know, I have heard one good example that one person went to Malaysia with family. What he did is he put a photo, I am going to Malaysia with family for 15 days and going to have fun. Okay, now when he returned, to his surprise, he could see that there was a theft in his home and everything he has lost. Right? This is a real thing. So, what he should have done is very simple. Does it mean that we should not post the photos? No, even I also regularly post photos, right? But you should know the timings, you should have some observation. Okay, the same thing he could have done after coming back, right? It's very simple. He could have put the photo and he can mention, we have enjoyed a lot. Then it's not an issue, right? So privacy settings are there. Any outside person cannot view you. Let's take example of Zoom itself, right? In Zoom there are annotations, people are putting annotations. You can put unmute yourself also, but if you don't know the privacy settings, you will say, oh, Zoom is too much hodgepodge, right? If I unmute everyone over here, what will happen? I will not be able to manage, right? So you should know what are the privacy settings. There are blocking filters, even Facebook. I request everyone, you just explore Facebook privacy settings. Okay, who can see your face, who can tag you, who should not tag you, everything is mentioned over here. They are very simple options and everyone must use it. Don't keep it by default. You know, by default everything is on. So that is the problem. You can also, if you have such things, stories to share, there is a special branch, right? Every city, whether it is Rajkot, whether it is Botad or Bhavnagar or everywhere, we have cybercrime branch almost everywhere in Gujarat also now. Okay, so there is IC3 cell, Internet Crime Compliance Center. We can lodge a complaint over there and it will be taken care of. Fine. So I hope I am able to give you some basic awareness about what cybersecurity is and what are the terms, basic terms which are being used. So now I will end my session with a hope that all of you have gained something, some knowledge out of this. Thank you very much for joining. Over to Dr. Kalpesh. Mute. Uh, hmm? So this is my phone number and mail ID. If you have some questions or you want to interact, I'll be happy to help you out. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. Myself, Dr. Kalpesh Popat, and these are the list of upcoming webinars for you people that on 5th of May, that is on Tuesday, that is on the next Tuesday, we are having a Python programming webinar. After that, on 8th of May, we do have a webinar on essentials of corporate life. Then after on 11th, that is on Monday, a big data analytics webinar will be there. And on 16th, Saturday, there will be a webinar on introduction to iPhone application development. So these are the 4 webinars are planned in the next upcoming series. Brijesh sir, please make it next. These are the list of courses offered by Marwadi University under the Faculty of Computer Applications. Under the Faculty of Computer Applications, we are having 3 courses. One is Bachelor of Computer Applications, that is BCA, that is of 3 years graduation course. One is MSc Cybersecurity and Cyber Law. This is specialized course. We are providing a master degree, that is master degree in the science, having cybersecurity and cyber law as a specialized syllabus subjects. And third is the evergreen course, that is of master in computer applications, that is MCA. Under BCA, we will have 4 flavors. Actually, we are providing various electives in the last year of the bachelor in computer application, so that students can finalize their career in any one of the this kind of electives are available. One is data science, another is web application development, another is software testing, and one more is mobile application development. So these are the 4 flavors available in the Bachelor of Computer Applications, that is BCA. Please make it next, sir. You can take up a photo of this screenshot, because these are the social media pages available for Marwadi MCA. One is Facebook, there is a Marwadi MCA page is there. In Instagram, we do have Marwadi education underscore FCA is there. In YouTube, we do have FCA Marwadi University, and in LinkedIn, we do have Marwadi FCA. These are the 4 social media pages are available for you people. Be in touch with the social media, as we are in a situation where we cannot meet personally. Still, I will share my personal contact number onto the chat window. Now I will open the chat window for all, so that if you have any doubts, you can ask directly to the Brijesh sir. You can start asking the questions now in the question answer session. If you have any question, please type it in the chat box and send it, so that we can give the answers to your questions. Start sending the questions fast. Brijesh sir, please give answers to the questions.
Yeah. So far, not receiving any message as such. Anyone wants?
Wait, I will share you.
News says, yeah. Abhay, okay, I got one message. Abhay, news says Zoom is not secure. See, that's why I mentioned earlier also. It's like Facebook is not secure, the WhatsApp is not secure, right? Only thing is, no, using a VPN does not mean that it becomes safer, right? The software settings are different. Zoom is having their own policy. They are capturing by default. See, when I use Zoom, by default the mic is on. If someone is hearing, someone is recording it, then it's not Zoom's problem. So only thing is, we have to use the privacy settings, right? And we must know how to use that. You can see here, we are able to manage such things successfully. But yes, there could be some loopholes and they should work on that also. We never know. Till now, I did not came across any such loophole as such. Thanks for the appreciations, everyone. Abhay, Harmil. Someone is mentioning about port 83, how to secure. See, HTTP port is there, 443 is there, 8083, they are always open. You cannot stop them because people want to connect through HTTP, right? So basic security already is provided by the software like antivirus toolkits. So they are firewall and toolkit. They are providing you such solutions. Not to worry. Instead of this, we can use Meet. Yeah, we will try that. Sure. Not to make a race. I agree, Vivek. No more comments. I think we can stop now if no one wants to share anything else. Okay. Fine. Thank you.